Hey Eric, how you doing? Hey noob, how you doing? I could be better. I definitely could be better. I'm about to explain exactly why in just a second. I could be doing better, but yeah, I'm all right. I'm a little bit better. I've calmed down a little bit since earlier, since about 3.5 hours ago. I've calmed down just a little bit. So, today, I was originally supposed to do an American Truck Simulator live stream. That was my original plan, but things could happen, like whatever things can happen, like in your personal life that kind of disrupts that a little bit. And I was all for doing American Truck Simulator today. That was the plan. But then this happened today, at work, and it threw me for a loop today. And like for those of you that are looking to become transit bus operators, like I said in my last video when I was doing the rant, that this rant could come from so many different angles. It could come from the angle of the passengers. It could come from the angle of the coach you're operating, the bus you're operating, and then it could also come from the company itself. Now before I go any further, because this is going to be put out there, that in no way am I talking bad about the company. No way, shape, or form am I talking bad about the company. I enjoy working there. This is the last stop for me. This is a career move that's going to be here until the end. There is no doubt about that. I could see myself retiring from this place. So before I go any further, I don't want to give a misconception that, you know, I'm about to put negative facts out there or negative thoughts out there about this job. However, this is what you can deal with when it comes to transit bus operations. So today, as you know, Monday through Friday, I do my split route. I come in at 3:50 in the morning. That's when I clock in. I go out, grab my bus. The first negative is that I have to walk, seem like a whole football field to get my bus. But I get my bus. By the time I grab my bus and take it to where I have to, I don't start it out there until 4:50 in the morning. So it's about an hour that I get in between. And I usually get there around 4:30 on a good day. So I still have like 19-20 minutes before I go back out to start my run. So I do that run, no problem. You know, I go west or I go east from beginning to the east, turn around, go from the east to the west, and then I turn around, I do half the route, and then I'm done. So I do that, no problem. I go in, you know, because I'm starting my break at 10 o'clock. You know, I take the relief car back to the office, turn it in, take my break. Breaks seem to go smooth, which, by the way, I forgot my sandwich there and my lemonade. My mind was just all over the place today. So I ate one of my sandwiches. Okay, whatever. I get ready to clock back in for the second part of my piece, which is from 1:30 to 3:30, and that's doing a totally different route. I get a paper. I don't know if I have it near me. Hold on. I get a paper. I know I brought it in here. Let me see. This might be it. Okay, yes. I get this today. A whole write-up. Without getting into too much of the details, pretty much it's saying that on August 24th, they even gave the bus number that I was on. I drove past somebody and I didn't pick them up. They said they got me on video doing so and it violates whatever. And it says on September 5th that we will have an investigative hearing into this alleged incident. So of course I was already ticked off when I got it, because it's like, it's not the fact that I got the write-up. It kind of is. Hey, Justice, I'm just talking about what happened today. It's not the fact that I got the write-up. Well, for this it kind of is, and then I'll say why in a second. But for the most part, it's not the fact that I got the write-up. It's the fact that y'all give it to me in the middle of my shift. Now, of course, when you get a write-up of any kind, it's going to set your whole mood for the rest of the day. So I get this write-up right before I start my second part of my split, and I look over it. Now, of course, I'm pissed off, because it's like, I read it, and you know, they say sign it, don't have to sign it, it's up to you. You have to decide on the next page if you want union representation or not. And I could almost recall exactly to the day, to the passengers that it was. And it just irritated me, because I've gotten write-ups before for like attendance. And I used to get those a lot back in the day. Back when I first started, I used to get those a lot, especially because I wasn't getting any sick time or any paid time. So when I would call off, I would just call off. Now, today, for example, I have to call in later for tomorrow. But because I have sick time, as long as I put in for sick time for tomorrow, I won't get that write-up. So I used to get plenty of write-ups when I first started for attendance. And it was always a verbal warning. Now they gave me the same sheet, but it was more verbal. It was like, okay, you know what you did. You can sign you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to. It went no further than that. It was no type of hearing, no type of investigation or any of that. So usually I just don't sign it. I don't sign it. I give it back to them. Sometimes I ask for a copy, sometimes I don't. Whatever. When it comes to something like this, for example, passing up passengers, or I don't know, getting into an altercation with the passenger or another coworker, I would think that a verbal warning would be in place before it comes down to a whole damn write-up. Like, it's a whole write-up. And then the fact that y'all give it to me in the middle of my shift. It's like, so after I got back, I automatically, they had, I don't know what was going on up there. It was busy, so I couldn't do it right away. Had to fill out one of these. That's basically a request form for sick time for tomorrow. Because I know either way it goes, I'm calling in. I know that. And I had to do that because, like I said, my mind, I'm already checked out now. I'm already checked out with this place. I'm not in the mood to come in the next day. I wasn't going to do this originally. I was just going to chalk it up as a loss. Not really so much as a loss, but I was just going to fucking just let it be, you know, and just deal with it. Come in the next day, do what I got to do. Come September 5th, I have my hearing. Then that's another thing. The hearing is on a Tuesday at 1:21 p.m. The second part of my split starts at 1:20. So now my question is, when I do this hearing, when it gets done, what are y'all going to expect me to do? Because that split ends at 3:20. I only go down to the mall for 40 minutes, drive, turn around, come back for 40 minutes, and I'm done. So what am I to do? Are y'all going to pay me after this? Are y'all going to pay me my second half of my paddle? Because y'all going to stick me in this hearing. So I was kind of worried because I'm like, drive, turn around, come back. Because I didn't know what was going to happen. Like I said, I've gotten write-ups in the past for attendance, but it was nothing more than just a verbal type of thing. Now, I don't call off anymore, and if I do, because I have sick time, when I do call off, I put the sick time in. So long as they get that sick time in and it's approved, then it's an excused absence and I won't get no write-up for it. Those are fine. I'm not concerned about that. But then when y'all say I passed up a passenger, and instead of like calling me into the office, again, preferably at the end of my shift, and say, hey, so-and-so date, passenger said you passed them up, blah, 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 blah. This is your verbal warning. I would have been okay. I would have been content with that. I would have moved on about my day. But now y'all do this whole write-up, whole investigation thing. You have to wait now to September 5th. I chose to have a union rep, which I don't know if that person is really going to be needed, because I could almost tell you exactly who it was and when it was. They don't have to provide a time. They could blur out the faces. I already know exactly who it is and who it was, and I can describe the situation to the T, which, not to get to too much detail, but there's a part of my route where I go north on one side of the street, I go into a place, circle out of it, come back south on the other side. I was kind of full going north. I seen them on the north side, but they didn't get up right away. So I went up, went into the place, turned around, came back, started coming south. I seen them on the other side, but again, I had drop off only on my head side of my bus. So I passed them up. Now, without getting into too much detail, I can't say that I disagree with the write-up, because I remember it to the day. When they said the 24th, I already know what it is. I remember the situation. It's certain people, you can almost guarantee if you pass them up, you could just pass them up, and just by the look of them, you know that you're probably gonna get reported on. And these were two kids, two boys, that went to the high school, I imagine. And I think that's where it came from. And it's like I said, it's not the write-up that's the issue, but it's the fact that you handed it to me in the middle of my shift. Now, when we were in training, y'all preached all day about keeping your emotions in check. Whatever stuff you got going on at home with your wife, your kids, your friends, your foes, whatever you got going on at home, you check that at the door before you walk in. They preached that. All 7 days I was in, not all 7, because we were only in the classroom for 5 days. For me, it was only for 4, because I already had my CDL, so I didn't have to go Monday. But that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that's all they preached, was that keep your emotions in check. Before you come to work, make sure it is kept in check. Whatever happens at work, in that bus yard, in that building, keep it in check before you get on that bus. And I'm pretty good at that. There's a couple times, since I've been at this place, that my emotions, I couldn't keep it in check. And, a couple times I had to get pulled off the bus. A good thing they still paid me for it, because they understood the situation and what was going on. But when it comes to whatever happens at the job, whatever happens on the bus between other passengers, I'm usually pretty good at keeping my emotions in check. I'm pretty good with that. But then y'all had me a whole write-up about passing somebody up. Now, I understand you can't do that, because after I clocked out, I ran into the general manager of the particular place, of the bus yard that I'm at, and I was up front with her. I said, "Ma'am, this is the first write-up of this kind, and I'm concerned. I'm worried, because I'm worried I'm gonna get fired." And I told her, I said, "This is it for me. This is my career. I plan to retire here. I don't want it to end like this." She looked at it, we talked. It wasn't an official meeting. I probably shouldn't have did it, because I didn't have no union rep, but we didn't really have no legal, technical type discussion. It was just a casual, can't pass up people, because if you do, we don't have jobs. I get that. And now thinking back, I should have just stopped, because I know exactly the situation that they're talking about. I could walk in that place right now, in that meeting, and tell them I already know who it was. I can tell you the 2 people it was. I don't know them by name, but I know it's 2 boys. I don't know if that could be a good thing or a bad thing if I go in there saying it like that, but I told her I was worried. And she says, "No, you're not going to get fired off of it." But I understand when it comes to a business decision, I have enough common sense to know that they're going to do what's best for business. at the end of the day. Now, I'm not saying that it's still going to lead to me getting terminated. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if they came up to her and said, you got to let him go, she might have it every bit in her heart not to let me go. But if somebody higher up than her say let him go, what do you think she's going to do? So I always said to myself that if this didn't work out for whatever reason, and the longer I'm working here, is the more inclined I'm going to feel to do this. But if this for some reason didn't work out, I wouldn't stay in Arizona no more. I wouldn't. This is it for me. This is the same discussion I'm going to have with my mom later, my roommate. I'm going to be honest with them, like, hey, this is what happened at work today. They assured me that I wouldn't get fired, but business decisions is business decisions. That overrules anything you just said. So it's like, this is it. I wouldn't get no other job out here. Yeah, I can jump ship, go into Phoenix and drive for them. But I'm like, do I really want to do that? Or do I want to just pick up and just go back to Cleveland? You know, honestly, Justice, I wouldn't. If I left here from Arizona, I would go back to Cleveland. I would go back to Cleveland. I would be around my mom. And I would just drive buses out there. That would be the only transit system I would drive for next, other than here in Phoenix. Just because I'm familiar with Cleveland already. California would just get me further away from family. Now, when it comes to family, I really say I only got my mom and my sister, my two sisters. That's really about it. But it's like I said, this is it for me. Once I landed this job, I said, if this didn't work out in Phoenix, I have no reason to be here in Phoenix anymore. I don't. I have no reason to remain here in Phoenix while I try to find something else. I have no reason to do that. And it sucks to say that, because not to speak anything into existence, but if something should have happened, you know, let's say on the 5th, I would have to make sure, or not make sure, because I wouldn't be in a position to make sure my car note at least paid for a month. That will at least get me time to drive out to Cleveland and figure something out there. Then I would have to figure out all my stuff I got here. I just bought a portable air conditioner. I only got a little Mini Cooper. I definitely will take my computer. I ain't shipping that. I done learned that lesson. Because I would definitely, that's the first thing I would grab. And then the TV. And then if I have room, I won't have room for the air conditioner, I'll have to sell it. Which ain't no problem with selling it. I'm not worried about that. But, and I'm saying this at the end of the day, it's like, I don't think anything would happen. I'm about I would say, to err on the side of caution, I'm probably about 65% sure that nothing would happen. Now, I say at the worst, I would probably get suspended. Maybe 1 to 3 days. If they really want to keep me, but they really want to make me think about doing that again, I could see a suspension. A day, 2, 3 days, whatever. Unpaid. That would definitely get my attention, because that's like almost $200 a day I'm missing. About at least $180. So 160, maybe 180. So, and it could be just a verbal warning. But I know, like, ever since that happened today, when I did my second part of my split, I drove under the speed limit. I said, I ain't passing nobody up. If I seen you waving across the street, guess what I'm doing? I'm waiting right at that bus stop. And if anybody would have been like, why are we waiting? Well, because I got a write-up for passing up people, and I technically looked at that person, I made contact with them, so I got to wait for them. That's exactly what I'm going to start doing. But it's like, that really got to me. So when I talked to the lady, one of the managers there, one of the general managers there, once I talked to her, I told her, I said, if I could make a suggestion, I think that you all should not hand out these write-ups in the middle of somebody's shift. Because, and then she said, well, we have to, because it's a very short window. She's a nice lady. She wasn't nasty to me at all. She was just like, you know, we had to, because with the union and everything, we have such a short window to hand these out. And I said, well, I get that. But then I said, well, what if I didn't have a split and I was working 8, 9, 10 hours straight? Y'all was going to hand me this at the end of my shift anyway. It's not like y'all was going to get the write-up. You know, well, it's not like I'm working 4 a.m. to 2 p.m. Y'all get the write-out, or y'all get the write-up at 10:30 a.m. and y'all meet me at my bus at 11 to hand me a write-up. Y'all not going to do that. Y'all going to wait till the end of y'all shift. Y'all going to wait till the end of my shift. So I'm like, well, what's the difference? Because there is no difference. You know, split or not. Because if I was doing my routes, like I said, and if I was working 4 a.m. to 2 p.m., y'all wasn't about to come and meet me in the middle of my route at 10 in the morning to hand me a write-up. Y'all gonna wait till when I got back at 2 p.m. to hand me the write-up. So what's the difference between me working a straight shift, y'all handing me a write-up afterwards, versus me working a split and y'all handing me a write-up during my split? And the thing is, I went up to the dispatch window, I asked for bus passes, she gave it to me. I'm not sure if they had the write-up available then. They probably didn't. I give the benefit of the doubt to them there. But y'all waited till the second I clocked in to do that. So now, like I said, of course, I wasn't happy about it. I went ahead and did my route. I had to try to keep my emotions in check because, yet again, I was pissed off. And it showed immediately. As soon as I got to pick up my bus at the light rail, I had the clever machine. It was going slow as shit. So I had a hard time signing out because the person, this operator, man, and this is one of the issues I have when it comes to operators. This particular operator, I've dealt with him several times, and I don't know if this dude don't like what he do or whatever, but it was last week or a couple weeks ago. I got to relieve him for my second part of my split, and he had a wheelchair outside. Now, technically, he's supposed to be the one loading that wheelchair because he's the one that signed into that bus. I'm not signed into it yet. Even if he didn't sign, even if he signed out, I'm not signed in. And you're the last one operating that bus, so you should be the one putting this lady on. This dude got out that seat so fast, and immediately in my head, I'm thinking like, dude, are you serious? Like you got a whole wheelchair out here and you're making me put her on the bus. But you were operating this bus, because had I came just 2-3 minutes later, You would have had to put her on the bus anyway. What you gonna do? Have her sit out there till I arrive? She just happened. She was already. I guess she must have just rolled up there, just as I was pulling up. And I'm guessing he seen me pull up, and because I got out kind of quick, I guess he figured, well, I could deal with it, and he let me load her on the bus. And so I dealt with that with him. There's times where I would relieve him. He never signs out to Clever. He never ever signs out. So of course, when I get the bus, like today, for example, when I relieved him, he was still signed in. So now I have to go deal with Clever and how slow Clever is. Hey Ernie, how you doing? So now I have to deal with Clever with the Clever device. I have to deal with how slow Clever is to sign him out so that I can sign myself in. Meanwhile, people coming all on the bus. Every time I keep closing the door, I have to open it. It's already hot on the bus because the AC is not really working that well. Every time I'm thinking I'm okay to pull off, I have to open it again because more people's coming on. I'm having to log him out still because, like I said, the Clever device is taking so long, or it's so slow, and so now I have to log him out, and then I'm logging myself in again. My emotions are not in check yet because I'm still thinking about this write-up that I got, so people are getting on the bus and I'm lashing out on them. I think, I'm not sure if it was this stop or it was the next couple of ones, but I had somebody that was already in the bus come up, ask me a question while somebody getting on the bus asking me a question. And I'm just like, what? I'm like, I don't care. That's exactly what I said. And I'm like, that's when I knew. I was like, you know what? I need to take tomorrow off because my emotions was getting worse. And to the point where had an operator, whoever I relieved, if he would have had a problem with me when I relieved that bus, there's a little parking area we're supposed to park at. I usually park right behind the bus instead because it's right next to the bus or it's right behind the bus. I could get out, walk right to the bus. That driver could get out, walk right to the van. That's it. There's a few drivers that don't like when I do that. They say it's a safety issue, that it puts their life on the line, per se. Should I pull it behind or get there first and I'm in front of them? I could see the being in front of them thing, but the being behind thing, no, not really, because now you can see the cars. Being in front of the bus, you can't really see it because the bus is wider, so you really have to stick your nose out a little bit more, and then, yeah, I can see how that could be unsafe. But my emotions was not in check today, so should I have pulled up to relieve this person, whoever it might have been, and that particular operator would have had something to say about me doing that, I would have flipped the fuck out. I would be like, you know what? Y'all can find somebody else to do this. And I'm glad, because in my head, even though this operator I relieved, I don't really have issues with him. I just don't like the fact he doesn't log out. But even when I seen him, I was forever grateful that it wasn't some of these other people, because I would have flipped the fuck out and been like, man, y'all can find somebody else to do this today because I ain't the one, and like it's the day was good. The day was good up until that point. Up until I got that write up, y'all had me a stupid ass write up in the middle of a shift, and then y'all expect me to go the rest of my shift being alright with the fact that I got a write up. Like I said, if it was a write up because I called off, I'm okay with that. I could live another day. But y'all give me a write up that's going to require a whole investigation into me passing up people. Yet there's operators all across this company that's passing people up for a living. yeah, I'm gonna get investigated on. I said, man, my emotions was not in check today. It was not in check. I'm glad I kind of calmed down before then but I didn't calm down enough because once I started lashing out at the passengers just for minor little things, I knew I wasn't coming in the next day. I know I'm not going in tomorrow. I already put in for my sick time tomorrow. I just got to call in later after 7 or 8 and tell them to take me off the schedule. I already put in for the sick time. I need time to myself tomorrow. I need to, I don't want to say reconsider if this is what I want to do, because at the end of the day, I love what I do. I love the customer service aspect of it. I love interacting with other people, because when it comes to that, it's kind of a personal thing for me. It gets me out of my shell, because I can be very introverted. Like, I'm not good around crowds. I'm not good around people. I'm not good with meeting people. You know, when it comes to be dating, I'm not good with just going out there and seeing somebody that looks beautiful and trying to date them. There's this girl that gets on my bus every day. Not every day. 3-4 times a week. I've been wanting to talk to her for the longest, but me, the person, that's not me. I'm not outgoing like that. And some part of me is afraid to do that. So with doing this job, it gets me better in that department. Now I don't mind so much saying hello to somebody, complimenting them, sparking up a conversation with them. So that's a positive aspect of this job. And then I also love the fact that I'm driving. I love driving. Tell everybody all the time, I could drive all day long. I'm fine. I would pick this transit bus up and drive it to LA if I had to. I love driving. I love driving buses. I prefer slightly more Greyhound, but I love this job. And the longer I'm here, the more this is going to be a career. So I love what I do. It's just today was perhaps the worst day that I had when it came to this job so far. And I'm only 14 months in. As of 2 days ago, I was 14 months in. I say this by far was the worst day. It's just, they say keep your emotions in check, but today was rough. And I thought back when that stuff happened with my kid's mom, hey Rock man, how you doing? I thought back when the stuff happened in November with my kid's mom, I thought that was the worst day, because I ended up getting pulled off the bus by a road soup because my emotions was not in check. I mean, my emotions was all over the place that day, and I thought that was bad. But today, it was worse, but I had more control today. To say, if I could just get to 3:30 and clock out, I'll be all right. But I'm not coming in tomorrow. I need more time to get my emotions 100% in check. Because right now, they're like 50% in check. Tomorrow morning, if I was to get up at 2:30, they might be 75% in check. I needed 110% in check before I get on that bus tomorrow. And I know it won't be like that. So I told her, I said, I'm not coming in tomorrow. See, Justice, here's what you have to understand being a bus operator. You are going to pass up people. I don't care who you are. You cannot tell me as a bus operator that you've never passed up anybody. Can't tell me that. Sorry to say, your dad, whoever else, my best friend works with me. He cannot tell me he never passed me up. He can't tell me he never passed up anybody. As an operator, you've passed up somebody at some point. You may not have noticed you passed somebody up, but you have passed somebody up. Even if you've seen them even if you've seen them in your mirrors behind you waving, you passed them up. Technically, because all that person got to do is call in and say, hey, bus 6800 passed me up. And now that's a pass up. Regardless of how you look at it, there's not one operator that can tell me they never passed somebody up. Now, there's operators, I could believe an operator if they say, yeah, I've passed people up, but I never got written up for it. I could believe that because I'm pretty sure operators pass up people all the time. Just these people may not necessarily report it. I've passed up people all the time. Not purposely, but I will pass up people. And I've never gotten written up for it until now. 14 months in, I probably passed up people at least once a week. 14 months later is when I first got a write-up. Now, there are reasons why, and this is where another thing they preached in training is cover your ass. Because there are ways that you could pass up people, and if they call in and say you did it, you will not get in trouble for it. There are ways you can do that. For example, if you are, let's say if you are running 30 minutes late. I'm gonna say 20. Because the bus I'm on in the morning runs every 30 minutes. So let's say I'm running 25 minutes late. You know there's a bus 5 minutes behind you, assuming they're on time. If you call in to dispatch, well, OCC, which is operations, and you tell them, hey, I'm 25 minutes down, can I go to drop off only? Once they give you that green light to go drop off only, you could pass up any and everybody. And if one of those people called in, OCC will have on record between 8 and 9 a.m. we okay them to be drop off only. So if anybody calls in between those times and said this person passed me up at this time, you would never get a write-up because they okayed you to do it. If your bus is full, like that day, I said I wouldn't get too much into that and I won't, but if your bus is full, you call in, because that happens to me a lot in the morning if I get a regular bus. If I get an Arctic, it never gets full. But if I get a regular 40-footer, it could get full because I pick up school kids. And if a bus is full, or if I deem that the bus is full, I could call OCC operations again and tell them, hey, my bus is full. Can I go drop off only? Or full, next bus, please. Once they give me the okay, can't nobody call in and complain that I passed them up because they the ones that told me to do it. Now, there are times where they say, go drop off only until you clear the bus. That's if the bus is full. If you're late, depending on how late you are and how far along the route you are, they might tell you go drop off only the rest of the route. And then you're okay to do so. You're okay to pass up as many people as you want to at that point. The only drawback to that is the fact that it seems like whenever I do drop off only, if somebody rings the bell, there's somebody at the stop. So it's like, what do I do? Drop them off until the person catch the next bus? I can't do that. So it's like, I would never believe an operator that says they never passed up somebody. Because you either knowingly passed up somebody or you unknowingly passed up somebody. And they're both passing up somebody. Whether you knew it or you didn't, you still passed up somebody. It's just, again, some operators never got called in for it. Some people, there are some operators that might have passed up people and nobody ever complained on them. I know I passed up plenty of people and nobody ever called in until now. Like I said, I could tell you exactly who it was, because I know as soon as I read the sheet, I already knew who it was. I already knew the two boys. I knew who it was. And I knew who it was because the first time I ever picked them up, which was a few days ago, I don't know if it was their dad or it was just somebody waiting at the bus stop. It could have been their dad or grandfather or somebody. He was waiting at the bus stop with them to tell them what bus to get on, because the bus stop I picked them up at for the very, very first time is shared by 3 buses. The one that I drive, the number 30, and the number 70. So all 3 buses come there. And I'm guessing whoever he was, the father, the grandfather, whoever, he was out there with them telling them that this is the bus y'all need to get on. And I don't pick them up every day, but when I do, like, I didn't see them today. And I bet you now, though, I'm going to see them next time I work. And so it's like, if I run across y'all again, like, how am I supposed to stare you in the face? Like, the professional part of me will say nothing. I just treat you like another passenger. Thank you, have a good day. But to know that you complained on me and you could have costed me my job, how am I supposed to look you in the face as you board my bus? Like I said, I know exactly who called in. I know I'm going to get them on my bus again, unless somehow they got something worked out where they don't have to ride my bus no more. But if they do have to ride my bus, it's like I said, the professional part of me would just be like, welcome aboard, or thank you, have a great day, fare box is not working, simple communication. But then the logic side of me, the side that's, a normal human being with normal feelings, would be like, you could have costed me my job. I know I passed you up, and I know the situation. Without get too much into it, I know the situation. I'm not saying that they lied. Not saying that at all. I don't even disagree with the write-up. But what I do disagree with is the fact that y'all called in. When y'all do, when passengers do stuff like that, you have to really, especially in this time that we're in right now, and everybody know the times we're in now. The times we are in now is very, very unstable. Very unstable. We don't know what's going to happen from one second to the next. And for somebody to call in and report you, you don't know the type of ramifications that can have from you passing somebody up, or from you complaining, from you calling in like that. You don't know the ramifications that could happen behind that. Thank goodness this is the first incident when it comes to that. But suppose if you complain on the operator where they've already done it once, or they've done it twice, and now they're going for a hearing for a second or third time, where now it's more likely they have a very great chance of being fired just for a simple pass up. Now, I'm not saying as a passenger that you shouldn't complain. I'm not saying that at all. Because by all means, if you are a passenger standing outside in 115-degree heat, you have every right to complain. Now, for this particular situation, this was like 7:30 in the morning. Yeah, it's hot, but the sun ain't even really out yet. It's like still 90 degrees. Still relatively not cool, but it's not hot. Me, when I was a passenger on any bus transit system, whether if it was where I'm at now in Cleveland for RTA, CODA in Columbus, Ohio, TARDA in Toledo, the Metro in Akron, wherever I rode the buses at, I never, ever called in on somebody. Never. Never, ever called in on an operator. Because I knew, why, not that I know, I never knew what kind of ramifications that would have on that operator. I never would know. And I never would know what would happen as a result of me doing that. I could call in, and that could be the call in that gets a person fired. I could call in, report somebody. That could be the reason somebody gets fired. You know, now this person is getting into family issues because he's not working. The wife now divorces him because of, you know, he's not working no more. He falls into a deep depression, becomes an alcoholic again. You don't know the dominoes that starts to tumble when you call in on somebody. You don't know that. Now, again, granted, with my situation, I'm not 100% that won't nothing happen. I'm not 100% on that, but what I will say is that you don't know the situation you put people in when you do stuff like that. You really don't know. Yeah, I shouldn't have passed you up. I get it. Shout out Cleveland all day, man. 216 or 440. But yeah, you don't know the ramifications, the dominoes that starts to tumble when you do stuff like that. You don't know that. Calling, I could see if you. I really honestly can't see any reason. No, I can't even say that because people have reasons to complain on operators all the time. I would say I can't even say bad customer service will be a good enough reason. See, I can't say that. I can't say that. Because his job is centered around customer service and safety. So I can't say bad customer service won't warrant a complaint. I guess it's like, okay, let me explain it like this. I guess if you are going to complain, if you are going to make a complaint, make it 100% legit. No, I'm not even saying make it 100% legit. But make it when you make the complaint, make it to, okay, I could explain it this way. Let's take the situation that happened with me where I passed up these group of people, these two people. Okay, you complain that I passed you up at a time where there's buses, if you want to be technical, they're running every half hour. But if for some reason I'm late, like I was 15 minutes late, there's one coming 15 minutes behind me. Now, of course, they may not really know that as quick as I do, but I know because I have it on my machine, I'm 15 minutes late. I know the bus runs every half hour, So there's another bus 15 minutes behind me. I'm not saying you shouldn't complain, but what you should complain about is if I passed you up and I was the last bus of the day. Now that's something that I can understand why someone would complain about, because it's the last bus of the day. If they get passed up from that bus, there ain't no more buses. I can understand the complaint there. 100% understand, nothing around that. I understand it, wouldn't even be upset. I mean, well, yeah, I would be upset, but I would understand. I would legitimately understand. But you're saying I passed you up at a time where there was another bus coming 15, 20 minutes later. You're going to school. I shouldn't say you're going to school like it means nothing, but there's still another bus coming. It's not like I passed you up and I was the last bus of the night. Because again, you call in and you complain, you don't know what kind of dominoes you done started to affect just by calling in. You don't know that. And now I have to sit back for the next, 29th, 30th, 31st, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. I have to sit back for the next 8 days wondering what the fuck is going to happen with my job. Now, I'm about, like I said, 70-75% sure I should be okay. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to be okay where it's going to be a verbal warning, but I think I'm going to be okay where I'm going to still keep my job. It just might be some kind of discipline behind it. It could be suspension. I'm okay with that. I would take that if that means I keep my job. It'll hurt my pockets, but if they say, hey, we'll suspend you for a day, I'll be okay with that. I'll be okay with 2 days. I mean, 2 days is going to hurt, and 3 days is going to hurt even more. But if it means I get to keep my job, I'm all right with that. Exactly. And that's what I'm getting at, Rock, man. It's like it's one thing, like I said, if I was the last bus of the night, if I was the last bus strolling through there at night, and I can tell you exactly right now, let me look on the app and I will show it to you. So this is the app we have right here. This is the app I usually could look at. It's not going to show no stops. I think the app might be down. But this is the app we use. Okay, it's not loading no stops for, I don't know, whatever reason. But, let me see. Yeah, the app is not really working. So now I can't really tell you the way that I want to. I can look it up on the website. So, let's see here. I can go on Valley Metro's website and let's see, I can go there. Oh, shoot. Okay. So, the last bus for where the incident took place would be around 11:20 at night. It would be, you ain't gonna be able to see it, but it would be that time right there. That's about where it happened at. If I passed them up at that point, I would totally understand why he has every right to call in and complain. Because 9 times out of 10, When it happens that late at night, ain't nothing open. Ain't no customer service open, nothing. So the best you can do is wait till the morning and call and hope you got the bus number. You know, I can understand that because, like I said, at that time of night, ain't nothing open. You can't call and then have somebody come out and get you and take you to where you're going. Now, I'm not sure if there's ways that people could get supervisors to come out and get them. I doubt it. I think if a person gets passed up on the last bus, that's just it. Now, I can understand if you pass them up at that point. I can understand the complaint, and I can understand your penalty might be more severe. I can understand at that point, which is why I'm so glad to get off of PM driving. So when I first started, I used to have those routes where I was the last bus, and I used to hate that with a passion because I would have to drive super slow and super careful to make sure I didn't pass up nobody. I would have to leave the beginning of the route late so I ensure I didn't pass up nobody. I used to hate that because at night it's harder to see. I had to always turn on my brights to see the bus stop. Like I said, if that happens, you pass up somebody, you the last bus of the day, I understand that totally. But if you ain't the last bus of the day, and in my case, I was already 15, 16 minutes late, there was one coming behind me in 14, 15 minutes. So why is you complaining? Now, because you complained, you done put me in a situation where, hey, Michael, how you doing? Now, because you complained, you done put me in a situation where I don't know what the shit's gonna happen come September 5th. And the only reason I say that because when you get a fucking big ass write-up like this, you can't see it that well. But when you get something like that, of course you're gonna worry. Now, granted, that big paper you just seen, it's just a small section of it I need to really worry about, and that's the incident that actually took place. All the other stuff is just mumble jumble. But when you get something like that, can't really see it that well, but it makes you worry. Of course I was pissed off today. My emotions was not in check. And I almost let them know right then and there, don't send me out on this route today. No. That's what I was just saying. That whole piece of paper is not a whole write-up. It's just a section of it that is. No, not that paper. Out of this whole paper, it's just this little section. Just that little section. You won't be able to see the words. Just that little section is the write-up. All the other stuff is just like legal stuff. But when you get something like that, of course you're gonna worry. And then, then on the back, of course, again, you ain't gonna be able to see it too well. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see it too well. Well, right there you can a little bit. It pretty much asks me if I want union representation or I don't. I always choose to have a union rep. I pay $50 every 2 weeks, so I might as well have them representing me. Though I'm not gonna deny it happened. Y'all got a whole video. What am I gonna do? Lie to you, say it didn't happen? Just for y'all to show me the video and it makes it worse on me? No, I know I did it. Oh yeah, I am gonna take the union with me. I chose union representation. Should I pay $50 every 2 weeks? I pay $100 a month for them. I'm gonna take them with me, even though I know I did it. Even though I know I'm not gonna dispute it. Cause like I said, what do I look like going there and lying to them saying, Like, what do I look like today when I talk to the general manager today? What do I look like lying to her and saying, no, I didn't pass up nobody? I ain't gonna lie to y'all, got a whole video. Yeah, I did it. You know. Now, I can also say I did it, but then here's ways I can improve on that so I don't do that again. And I kind of already started implementing that on the second run. I just started driving slower. Not that that was the reason why I passed them up, but the slower you drive, the more you can catch people. So that's what I'm gonna still start doing from now on. Before, I used to just do the speed limit. Whatever it was, that's what I did. Within reason, if I could. But now, if it's 45, I'm only doing 35. That's the way they're gonna have to accept it. If y'all don't want me passing up nobody, I gotta go slower. I can act just as petty as the next person, you know. But it's like, like I said, if they get on my bus, what am I supposed to do when they get on my bus and I know it was them that complained? Like I say, you could blur out their faces all you want, but as soon as you show me a situation where it's two people, I already know who it was. Yes and no. They stress on you being early. Like, you could be early to a time point. You just can't leave that time point early. I don't know if I have a paddle near me. I might have, no, I know I ain't gonna have one on my phone. Let me see, I might have one on my phone from my friend. Might have his paddle on here. Let me see. I don't write him much on Facebook, so I know whatever I run across, it should be something I can show you. So let's see. Yeah, come on now. Nope, that ain't it. I know we sent the picture to each other of our paddles. Okay, so here's the one right here. So let's see. This is his paddle, right? Well, his old paddle, I think. No, this is the paddle he does now. Okay. You may not be able to see it too well because I can't really enlarge it. Well, yeah, I can. So that's like an example of our paddle. Now, this is my friend's paddle. This is not mine. So, like, you see all those stops and times next to it? Those are the time points. We could arrive to them early, but we can't leave from them early. So, like, you see the first stop or the second stop says Greenfield and Southern at 7 o'clock in the morning. We could arrive there at 6:55 in the morning, and that's fine. But we better not leave there until 7. And now we, as a company, is getting fined $100 for every time we leave a stop early. So imagine this particular one. If you don't count the first stop, it has 1, 2. Let's see. It has. Gotta relarge it. Let's see, this one has, if you don't count the first stop, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 time points. If you don't count the first one or the last one, 10 different time points. If you leave early from all 10 time points, that's $1,000 fine right there. If you gargle salt in warm water, yeah. Oh yeah, here you could arrive early, you just can't leave early. Yep, here you can arrive early, you just can't leave early. You can arrive early, But if you are too early in between time points, like, let me see if I can pull that thing back up again. So again, going back to the one I showed you before, let's say you just left Gilbert Road in Southern at 712. Okay, the next one's Country Club in Southern. If they see you're almost at Country Club and it's 716, you might get a call from them telling you gotta slow down. You're not gonna get in trouble for getting there too early, but then they're gonna be like, okay, you're going too fast. And then they will tell you at this point, you gotta slow down because you're getting to these time points way too early. They're not gonna write you up for it, but you're just getting there way too early. You know, can I answer my phone? So, because especially on that route, that 61 route, they got so much time built into that you're always early to every time. No matter how slow you drive, you're always early. So you're always doing a lot of stopping. You know, always doing a lot of stopping. You can't, like I say, you can't leave early. Every operator is guilty of leaving early. Even now with this whole fine thing happening, there are still operators that still will leave early. They may not care, or they do it and not realize they're doing it, but it happens. I still do it, not on purpose. I'm just not. Sometimes I could be in the motion of just going, and not even think about it. Can I answer the phone while I'm on the route? Yeah. If I do so, I better make sure that bus is in neutral and the parking brake is set, and that I'm early to a stop. If I'm early 2-3 minutes, somebody calls me, I have every right to pick up. Now, ideally, to make sure nobody complains, because in the passengers aspect of it, they don't know why you're picking up that phone. They don't know why you stopped that bus. But if you cover your ass and be like, what I usually do is if I get to a time point early, I go through the clever, I press the little button, bus is ahead of schedule, and then I make an announcement like, hey, we have 3 minutes here. And then I'll get out my seat and get on the phone. If I'm talking to somebody on the phone, I'll get out the seat and talk to somebody on the phone. Now, if I'm just scrolling through my phone, I won't get out my seat, but I will make sure that bus is in neutral and the parking brake is set. Because then they can't look up on the camera and say you're on your phone while you were driving. Because no, you announced you were early, you did it through the machine, and you announced it yourself, and you parked the bus. So they can't complain because you secured the bus. Now, professional wise, you should never let a passenger see you on your phone when you're in that seat, because again, a passenger's aspect is different from yours. You know you're ahead of schedule. You know you put that bus in park. You put the parking brake on. You know you secured the bus. You know you're early. You could have announced that to that passenger, but all they see when they call in and complain, all they see is you sitting in that driver's seat like this. That is all they see. And when they complain, they're not going to mention, oh, this operator, the bus announced it was early. The operator said it was early. He put the bus in neutral. He set the parking brake, and he secured the bus. Then he got on his phone. They're not going to complain and say that. When they complain, they're going to just say he was on his phone in the driver's seat. That's all they're gonna say. Here go a whole nother investigation again. It's a something that's half legit. Because you secured the bus. You put the parking brake on. You told them you was early. The bus told them they was early. But when they call and complain because they want to get somewhere ASAP, all they see is you on your phone and you stopping them from getting where they're going. Now they're complaining that you're on your phone in that driver's seat. Here, there's ways around all that. We have a code that allows us to get up and use the bathroom if we have to. Again, covering your ass, because you can't just get to a stop, get out the seat, go use the bathroom, and come back. I mean, you could do that, and you might be all right with that. But if somebody complain that you got up out that seat, go use the bathroom, and you came back, you could get in trouble for that. But now, same situation. If you press that code on that clever device, and you got up, you went to use the bathroom, you came back, and then they said somebody complained days later, you wouldn't get in trouble for that. The only thing they might say is you should maybe announce to them what you're doing, but you can't get it right up for that. Now, what I do is when I have to use the bathroom, for example, I'll press that code in the clever device, and then when I get to the stop, I'll make the announcement saying, hey, we're going to be here for a few minutes. I have to go use the restroom. We're going to be here like 5 minutes. If you feel you need to go in the store, you are okay with doing that. But once I get back on this bus, I'm leaving. I don't check for passengers. So by all means, if you get out and you go in this gas station, you're more than welcome to. But once I get back in the seat, I'm pulling off. That's what covers my butt. As long as I press that code, people can complain all they want to. But they gonna do them no good, because they know he pressed that code, he's taking a bathroom break. Now, what I better not do is take that bathroom break and come back with food. That, kind of a gray line there. Kind of a gray line. You can kind of get away with it. The most they might say is to not do it again. But it's, like I said, it's kind of a gray line when you do that. Because you did press the code. You just happened to order food while you went in the bathroom. That's what you can say. I ordered the food while I was using the bathroom. And by the time I got out, the food was done. I just grabbed it, kept it moving. Borderline. I don't do that. That I don't do. I will go use the bathroom. The most I might come out with is a fountain drink. I will not come out with a whole bag of McDonald's. Drivers that do that, I don't do it. I just, it's so many ways that a passenger could twist what they see, and it makes it seem 10 times worse than what it is. Like I said, you can literally be early. You can announce to them you're early. You can press the button to make the bus announce it, secure the bus, and all they see is this. Now they're complaining. So now, when I do that, and I'm ahead 2-3 minutes, and I do get on my phone, I have to hold it down under the wheel. Yeah, people are gonna see me looking down, and they can assume all they want to, but they don't see me doing this. You know, I'm guilty of every now and then snapping pictures at an intersection. I'm guilty of that. You know, but I'm not doing this while driving. No. I'm not doing all that, no. I'll be right back, y'all. I gotta use the bathroom. All right, I'm back. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, usually when I do come to a stop, there's usually at some stops, especially when I do the route in the morning, there's quite a few stops that I go to, whether it's a gas station or CVS or McDonald's at the stop. If I'm on time, okay, so if I'm late, I don't really stop. If I could hold using the bathroom, I usually will hold it. If I'm late, like especially 15 minutes late. Excuse me. If I'm like 15 minutes late or whatever, and I could hold using the bathroom, I will. I won't stop at all. If I'm on time, the only thing I might do is go use the bathroom. Again, I'm pressing the code, but I'm just using the bathroom. Now, if I'm early, especially if I'm like 3, 4, 5 minutes early, and then I will go use the bathroom, grab me a drink, if I have to. Even if I'm 5 minutes early, I still press the code for a bathroom break, because there are times that could be early and I'm using the bathroom and it could take longer than that 3, 4, 5 minutes. So I still press that code regardless. So that, again, I'm covering my own ass, you know, in case, hey, I don't get in the seat within 3 minutes. You know, especially every day when I go east on the route in the morning, always get to a stop with the McDonald's in a Circle K like about 3 to 5 minutes early. There are times I will press that code to use the bathroom and go into McDonald's, because I feel that if I press that code, it gives me enough time to comfortably use the bathroom and at least grab a drink. So it's been maybe a couple months ago, I had a situation where like 3 people got into a fight on my bus. First thing we're supposed to do is open all the doors, because if any passengers are on board that's not fighting, they could get off. I can't leave the bus, but they can. Then I call my operations, and then they call the police. We got 2 call buttons on the Clever device. We got a blue button and a red button. They tell you, whatever you do, do not press that red button unless it's an emergency. Because if you press the red button, it stops anybody else from calling. They only have direct access to you. Every person in that office could only call you. They can't dispatch nobody else out there. You press that red button, you are their only line of contact. Can't nobody else call in. If anybody else have issues and they press that blue button, they will not get through to them if you press that red button. So you press the red button, or you use your cell phone then, which is okay at that point. You call them, you explain to them what's happened. As soon as you say fighting, they automatically call the police. Police is on their way. You could do that. If something is happening when you're driving, there's a certain button we could press. I can't say where it's at, and I can't say what it is. But if you press that certain button, the head sign on the bus will change from whatever the route number is to emergency call police. But then that you have to rely on somebody passing by, seeing it and calling. I've had that happen to me once. where nothing was happening, I was grabbing my bus. I was pulling out the bus fresh from the bus yard in the morning. And this just happened not that long ago. So I got there 3:50 in the morning, went out to get my bus. Got on the bus. I started my pre-trip. I got on the bus. The Clever was acting slow. So one of the first things it says is press the EA button. I pressed the button, but it didn't, because right after that it'll say cycle the wheelchair ramp. Well, it didn't say that right away, and I didn't think I pressed the button, even though I knew I did, but the Clever didn't recognize it, so I pressed it again. And then it says cycle the wheelchair ramp. So I went ahead, cycled the wheelchair ramp. Did all the pre-trip as expected. I get ready to pull out the bus yard. Now, there's a supervisor there because we do our pre-trip on the Clever device, and we gotta fill out a paper also. We're supposed to give the paper to the supervisor if they're out there. They weren't out there this morning, but they were out there that morning. And so I know I don't know, she probably didn't look up and seen it. The whole time it's saying call police. I didn't know. So she grabs my paper, she gives us, she's my mentor, but she still gives all the drivers pointers for the day. And then we pull off. I proceed to pull out the bus yard. Another driver, kind of gives me a weird signal from his car. I didn't know what he was thinking. I didn't know what he was doing. So I kept going. Then another driver does it as I get further down the street. I'm like, what the hell is two people? So I'm on the freeway. People seeing it. Whatever. And right when I get off the freeway, all I see is somebody speeding up behind me. First, I just see lights. All I see was lights speeding up behind me quick. I didn't know what they were. I started tapping on my brakes, beating my horn, because I'm like, they're gonna hit me. I see them coming fast. I didn't know what it was. So I'm beating my horn, tapping my brakes. I had a bus with the strobe light. So I turned on the strobe light, like doing anything to let them know, hey, you're going too fast. When I hit that off ramp, as soon as I turned right, lights turned on, police. I'm like, what the hell? I wasn't speeding. You can't speed in the Arctic. In that 60-foot bus, that bus is slow as shit. It's slow. So I'm like, I ain't speeding. The most any of our buses could go is like 65. I'm not speeding. So I'm like, what's going on? It's like two cops pulled me over. He came up to, I had my lights off because when I'm driving to my first stop of the day, I have my lights off because I don't need the light reflected off the windows while I'm driving. So they come up heavy. My lights is off, so they don't know what's going on. Now they're at a stance, like, cause they see the lights off, they don't know what the fuck's going on. I open my doors because that's what we're trained to do when they pull up like that. We open all our doors. They getting on the back because we got in the Arctic there's 3 doors. It's the front, middle, back, and they get in every door. Every door that open, that's what they got into. And so I flipped on my lights and they were like, "Are you all right?" I was like, "Yeah." What's going on, officer? Somebody called in because they seen your head sign. They didn't call it head sign. I don't know what they called it. They said your bus has called police, called 911. And I'm like, no, it don't. Because from the inside, when I look up at the screen that we could change our head sign, it was blank. This is the first time it's ever happened to me, so I didn't know. I said, no, it doesn't say it. It was like, yeah, come out here. all around that bus. Emergency, call police. Left side, right side, front, back, call police, call 911. I was like, I felt bad because I'm like, y'all came out here. Like, I can't say lickety split because I've had this going on since I left the yard 30 minutes ago. It just, I guess, a person that was just driving past just happened to see and they called it in. But I'm like, it scared me because I'm like, damn, I wasn't speeding. I can't speed in the Arctic. I can't speed in any of these buses. The only time you can catch me from speeding is if I'm going on Interstate 17 and parts of Interstate 10 where it's 55 miles an hour. And I'm going 65. I could get how you could get me that way. But I was on the part of the freeway where I was going 60, where it was 65. So I'm like, damn, what could they have got me for? And then they told me that. And then I'm like, damn. I said, I didn't know I did that. But then I knew when I was doing the pre-trip, that's when it happened. And nobody caught it except the two people that was driving. And then the one that called in there. But yeah, when you have situations like that, they say we're supposed to call operations first, and they call the police. But if you got a passenger in it, if you got a passenger, and they pull out a gun and point it at you, we got security doors. As you've seen in one of my previous videos, the security doors isn't going from the back of your seat to the window. You got a big ass opening still. Anybody could pull out a gun, wrap it around that window, pow, 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 you're done. So if somebody even shows you a gun, what you gonna do? Call OCC first? No, you're gonna call the police first. OCC could wait. They could call OCC. You know, I never gotten to that point where anything happened that seriously, but the most emergency I ever had, like I said, is when people got into a fight. That's the most serious thing that's ever happened. I've had people try my security door from the drive-in. I've had that before. Nothing that made me worried. You'd be surprised because people will try that security door that a driver has and they will freak out because you can hear it all the time. I didn't freak out per se because I was able to handle the situation quickly. But a lot of that could be avoided when it comes to passenger operator conflict. You know, it's one of the major reasons a passenger ever gets into it with the operator is because fares. You got the operator being the fare police. You got the operator sitting there thinking they own the fare box and everybody's going to pay regardless. That is the reason why operators will get into it. The number one reason, in my opinion, why operators get into it with passengers is over bus fare. Now me, if you say hold on. Now for me, if you say as a passenger, if you get on my bus and you say you don't have bus fare, I'll let you on. I don't care what the reason is. I don't care if you bullshit me or not. I'll let you on. I have no problem letting you on my bus because I don't want that altercation. Now, What I don't like, and I've had this happen before. I have this happen a lot, actually, where people will get on my bus and just continue walking in the back. Like, you don't see this whole ass fare box here. I don't care if it's not taking any damn thing. You just walk past it like you not gonna pay. That's when I will interact with the passenger, and I will stop that whole bus. I won't even pull off. I pop that parking brake so fast, 'cause usually somebody's getting on the bus, which is why if you do your pre-trip at the beginning, the interlocks will work. And the interlock, if you don't know what it is, it's pretty much if you have the bus in drive and you open the doors, the brakes are supposed to apply and the bus is not supposed to move. The only buses we have where it's no interlocks is some of the circulators. Some of the circulators we have do not have interlocks. And I found that out the hard way because I picked up people and I've been so used to, I was working overtime that day and I drove a circulator. I've been so used to driving the other buses. I picked up somebody one day. I forgot I was in the circulator and I took my foot off that brake and that bus started to take off. The thing they was already on the bus, I don't even think they recognized the door was open. But the bus took off while both doors was open. But this bus, they have interlocks. So normally when I pull up, I just let my foot off the brake, open the doors. Now, if somebody walks past that fare box and don't pay and don't say nothing, then that's when the bus goes in neutral, that parking brake gets popped, I get out my seat then. That pisses me off. You would not get on this bus and walk back there and not acknowledge the fact that I'm here or acknowledge the fact that this fare box is here. And now you got to pay. Because if you come back up front and say, well, I ain't got it. Nope, you got to catch the next bus. Because it's one thing if you came out here and you say you ain't had it. And I say I don't care ride, but you got out here and you walk past me like you didn't even see me in this seat, like I'm a Waymo, like I'm a selfless driving bus. You walk past me in the fare box. What? Man, you better. Man, like I said, I popped that whole parking brake so fast. Man, you don't come up here and you don't pay. Come on, man. Like I said, man, I deal with that stuff all the time, every day. I deal with that every single day, and I'm like, man, let me tell you, I be hot when that happens. Oh man, I be hot. I be hot. I be hot. Yeah, I be hot. Because I'm like I said, usually I'm probably one of the fairest operators out there when it comes to buses. Probably one of the nicest operators you're gonna run across. And you can get on my bus. You can say, hey, I ain't got the money today. Every now and then I might ask where you going. I'm not worried about that. You know. But I say, come on, get on. Whatever. As soon as you start saying you ain't got it, come on. I don't care about that. I'm not getting into an altercation with you over that. I'm not about to sit here and get in a fight with you over $1 or $2. But what I will, get in an argument with you about is if you get on this bus I'm like 350 pounds, man. I know you see my big ass sitting in this seat. If it's not my size that stands out, it's the smell goods that I have that stands out. So you telling me you gonna walk past me in this fare box and continue on in the back and sit your ass down like you don't even acknowledge the two things up here? No. Like I said, it goes from having the interlock set on the bus, pressing neutral, setting the parking brake. I got passengers now, regular passengers, that seen that happen before. As soon as they hear that parking brake, they like, oh shit, who done did it now? Because I don't do that often. But when I do it, it's because some asshole got in the bus and kept on walking. I ain't the fare police, but I will say this. You not about to sit here and walk past my big ass in this bus, in this damn fare box. Oh, you're not about to do that shit. And then you continue to walk back like you don't even say hello. Good morning, you smell good, nothing. You just fucking keep walking. Like, before when that happened, when I first started, I think I started, my first day was June 28th, 2022. I got released to operations where I was on my own officially, I would say maybe towards the end of September, beginning of October. When I was released to them on my own, that happened almost immediately. Of course, when it first started, I'm nervous. I'm trying to, I don't want to say trying to set a good impression like I'm not now, but I'm nervous. I'm fresh out. I'm doing this for the first time, you know. So of course, when people do that, I'm just saying like, yeah, okay, whatever. Keep going. I'm like, hey, where's your fare? If they keep walking, I'm not worried. But then I would have other drivers that's been there for a while tell me all the time that shit's gonna get old eventually. You being too nice. You giving these passengers too much leeway. Giving these passengers too much benefit of the doubt. I'm like, whatever. Back then when I was 3-4 months in, I'm like, whatever. But 14 months in, oh, I see exactly what they saying now. Oh man. I'm like, whew. Now somebody do that, oh, I take that personally. I'd be like, wait a minute. I ain't the best operator out there, but you're certainly gonna respect me, my smell goods. You're gonna respect something on this bus. If you don't respect me or the smell goods, you're gonna pay your bus fare. Come on now. Dad wants me to go out by myself and just ride the bus. Oh, so you just ride the bus yourself without him? There's nothing wrong with riding the bus. And I should correct myself from earlier, Justice. I'm willing to drive for almost any transit system. How old are you, Justice? Let me just ask you that. How old are you? From earlier, Justice, I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't drive for any other transit system other than Cleveland, because I've always wanted to go to Houston. I love Houston. I love the city of Houston. I would love to drive for their transit system. I would love to drive for any transit system, probably except for Buffalo, New York. I would never go back there. If you offer me $40, $50 an hour, I probably would. But for 20 something an hour, I wouldn't go drive for Buffalo. I would drive for anybody else. The problem with Bakersfield, or the problem with California, cost of living is higher than it is here. What do they start off with at that transit system in Bakersfield? I would tell you whether or not I would go there. 16? I thought you was younger than that, man. I won't even lie to you. No disrespect. Just from some of the stuff we talked about, I thought you was younger. Ain't nothing wrong with that, though. You gonna follow your dad's footsteps, driving buses? I can tell you right now, I'm the first in my family to drive buses. Drive any commercial vehicle as far as I know. Hey, I'm streaming right now, so I'm gonna just voice note you. Technically, no, the bus wasn't full. I put drop off only, but I didn't call it in. But I did talk to Cheryl, and I just was honest with her. I said, hey, I'm worried what this can do. I don't want to get fired from this, because this is my career right here. She said I wouldn't get fired, but they will have the meeting still. But also, at the end of the day, I know business is business, and I know what she says sometimes could mean nothing. But she assured me, along with operators that assured me, that I wouldn't get fired from it. I was texting my friend. I didn't feel like typing all that out. Okay. I respect that. My dad was a police officer for the city of Cleveland. He retired from there. That's what I first want. Well, that ain't what I first wanted to do. My major in school was in political science. I would say accounting at first, but I didn't stay there too long. I wanted to go into politics. I had dreams of being the president. I remember my first crush. I told her, I wrote her a letter. I said, when I become president, you're going to be my first lady. Then I wanted to become a cop. That's the one thing I still stick with to this day. I'm past the threshold of being a cop now, but I would still want to get involved in criminal justice. That major will always stick with me. It's criminal justice. But now that I got my CDL, I've realized, even though later in life, that this was truly my passion. Driving buses. I went into trucking. Trucking could have been my passion with different circumstances. And once I realized that it had potential, and I got into a bus, that was my passion. That was my calling. And it's crazy because I have to shout out Ernie, who is Martin McMickens. If you ever see him in the stream, he is the first one that always kept saying, every stream, it seemed like, bus driving is for you. Before I even started bus driving, because I was doing the bus driving videos, and I used to always deny it. I used to always deny it to him, because he would be like, I could tell the way you driving, because I was doing OMSI videos, I was doing firm bus and stuff like that. He said, you drive this bus like you're an operator now in the game. You honk the horn when you pull out at the stop. You turn your turn signals on. You said bus driving is for you. I used to deny that so heavily. But I shout him out because he said that was my calling. And I believe sometimes people are sent in your life for that reason. And he said I was your calling. And once I did it, I said, this is it for me. I will retire at this place. And I'll be honest, this write-up was an awakening. It truly was an awakening. I will accept the fact that they say we're going to suspend you for 3 days. I will accept that. It'll hurt my pockets, but I will accept that because it gives me an opportunity, a second chance to change. And if that's the case, I would, even if they didn't suspend me, from this day forward, I'm changing. Changing how I operate. I bet you I won't pass nobody up no more. Driving the bus is not hard to drive, man. Let me tell you. I could make this stream 3 hours talking about driving the bus, man. But let me tell you this. I'm off tomorrow, so it don't matter. I could be on here as long as y'all need me. Driving the bus, man, is not hard, man. I'm kind of biased about that because I've been driving buses since 2012. 2011. That's when I first got my CDL. I was working at Fry's grocery store with my roommate at the time. I quit that job because Mesa Public Schools hired me and trained me for my CDL. I used to think that was the hardest thing to do, man. But I tell you what, driving buses is easier than driving a car. You got these big windows all around you. You sit higher than anybody else. Other drivers on the road, they try to avoid you. You got a whole right lane to yourself pretty much. Drivers don't want to be around you. Even when I'm at a stoplight and I'm creeping up on the car, they try to pull up as far as they can to that other car, so I'm not close up to them. It's easy. I remember back in 2011, 2012, I started with the school. That was my first time ever driving anything like that. I don't even know what got me to apply there. I don't even know what got me to apply because I wasn't doing any driving jobs before then. And I just applied. I needed a job, I applied. And said I had no interest in driving then. I definitely didn't. But I applied. They hired me. They said they would train me. The only condition they had was that I had to drive with them for 1 school year. That is the one condition they had. The one agreement they had is I had to drive with them for 1 school year. They would pay and train me on my CDL, give me my permit, do the third-party testing, and all that. The only thing I had to pay for out of pocket was when I actually got the CDL, I had to pay for the fees. I said, okay, I went through the whole training. I did my whole third-party testing. That was probably the most hardest thing out of anything. Third-party testing. You know, you would drive buses for RTA. Rockman, you might see me there for RTA. You might see me come back drive for RTA. You might. I wouldn't drive for them back then, but I definitely will now that I got the experience. But I remember back then when I was driving for the school district, I went ahead and did that third-party test. The hardest part of that third party was the pre-trip. The driving, I didn't have no problem with the driving. It was the pre-trip. The pre-trip, when you take your third-party test, Rockman, you want to listen to this. When you take your third-party testing, they usually start you right off at the pre-trip. That's the first thing you're going to do in any third-party testing. I don't care where you're at, Arizona, Ohio, California, what have you. It might vary on how they what all you got to do in the third party, but it's always going to start with the pre-trip. Always going to start with the pre-trip, because a pre-trip is pass or fail. Pass or fail, pass or fail, pass or fail. What I'm saying by that is the third party person, you can see this person every day. This person could be a regular school bus operator. He could sit there in the lunch break room with you. He could chop it up with you. He could laugh and giggle, shoot the shit with you. He could do all that with you. But the second he puts on that hat, and he's that third party operator, that third person tester, that third party tester, all that friendliness go out the window. He gonna treat you just like a DMV instructor. First thing you're gonna do is the pre-trip. Wherever you would like to start, that's where you start. Wherever you want to start doing your pre-trip. But as soon as you start it, you better complete it thoroughly. So what I usually do, I start off from the outside. Make sure the bus isn't leaning, because you are dealing with air suspension. So if the bus is leaning one way or another, somewhere or another, the air tanks is low. Bus is not leaning. While you're walking in the front, you can see if all your lights are working. So I'm not going to say this 100%, Rockman or anybody that's listening. Oh well, you're going to deal with stress being a bus operator. You can't avoid that. I don't care if you're the nicest operator out there, you're going to deal with stress. But when you do your pre-trip, here's how I did it, and here's how I passed it. When I did it with the school bus, because we did it with we had two different kinds of school buses. We had the propane one, which is with the nose at the front, and we had the one that was diesel with the flat nose, just like a transit bus. We do our pre-trips, or we do our third-party testing in the flat nose. That was school buses back then. Third-party tester, again, he was a person that was in the lunchroom with you. He was your friend, but as soon as he got out there on that road, he was like a DMV instructor. He came up to me, your turn to do the third-party testing. Start wherever you want to on this bus for your pre-trip. But as soon as you start, you gotta go straight through. So I walked around that bus for a long time, because I was unsure where I wanted to start from, because I needed to start somewhere where I felt comfortable with. So I started from the front of the bus. I walked up to the bus, said the bus is not leaning. I looked under. I don't see no leaks. I don't see nothing hanging. I see the clearance lights. They're all working and secured. I'm walking up to the front of the bus now. Windshield, no cracks. Touching the wipers. The wipers are secure. Headlights is working. They're secure. Bike rack. Well, this is your transit bus I'm talking about. If there was a bike rack on a school bus, bike rack lifts out, is secure. All the locks on the bike rack works. It's secure. Keyword you're gonna keep hearing me saying throughout this whole virtual pre-trip: secure. Secure, not loose, not broken, not cracked. Secure. Everything in front secure. My head sign for my transit bus is working, is lit up. If it's not, I'll point that out to the operator. I mean to the tester. He knows it's not working. He's gonna see if you gonna say it. Company doesn't let you enforce the rules no more. What company do you work for? So I'm looking at the front of the bus. I'm calling out everything I see in the front of that bus. Everything you see. I'm gonna talk about the transit bus because recommend you're trying to drive transit buses. So I'm looking at everything in front of this transit bus. The clearance lights is working. My head sign is working. You know, I'm touching the windshield wipers. Not only am I touching them, I'm doing this to them. I'm rubbing up and down the rubber parts. You know, I don't feel no cracks or abrasions on the rubber part that wipes. That's secure. My headlights is secure. Meanwhile, your flashers should be on. Like I said, let the bike rack out. That's secure. It's not falling off. You're trying the bike locks. They're working. If you do find one that's not working, you let the instructor know, because he already knows it's not working. He's just going to see if you catch it. Something like that will not get you failed. If a bike rack, well, I don't want to say that. I don't think it should fail you if a bike lock isn't working. You know, because that's not going to stop a bus from operating. There's certain defects on that bus that's supposed to put the bus out of service, and that's not one of them. What is that? Comfort. What is that? So then I walk to either side. Don't matter. I'll walk to the driver's side. I touch the mirror like this. It's secure, not falling off. I look at the number 1, number 2 mirrors. They're in place. They're intact. I touch them. Even the little turn signal, if depending on what buses you have, the little turn signal icon works. The housing for the mirror is secure. The clearance lights on the side of the bus is secure. You're supposed to have some type of thumper to thump the wheel. They're inflated. Check the tread. Tread is proper tread. I'm not going to tell you what the measurement is, because I could tell you to this day. I already have my CDL, so I don't need to worry about that. Check the lug nuts. The lug nuts are secure. They're not stripped. You do that for the whole side of the bus. All your windows is not cracked or anything. If we do see a crack, you say something. Hell, if you see a scratch on a bus, you say you see a scratch. The City Transit in New York. What part of New York? You know, you check the side of your bus. Get to the back of the bus. That's usually where your hood is, however you want, your engine compartment. You got to lift that up. That's where your engine compartment is. You lift that up. But before you even lift that up, again, your clearance lights is working. Your head sign in the back is working. You can look under the bus. You still see no leaks. Flip open that thing for your engine compartment. Start pointing at stuff. Start pointing at this stuff. Like, to this day, I don't know what half the shit is in an engine compartment. But everything I pointed at, I touched every hose in that damn thing. Every hose. I don't know where that hose led to, but I felt along the hose. Hose didn't have no cracks, no abrasions. It was secure, properly mounted. Remember that. Secured, no cracks, properly mounted. Properly mounted. I kept saying that. Secure, no cracks, properly mounted. Felt every little hose in that thing. I didn't know what I was pointing at, but I would say everything was secure. I touched everything in there. Secure, secure, secure. If you have a transit bus where there's a gate, do not open that gate. They'll probably tell you not to open that gate, but do not open that gate. Touch everything in that engine compartment that you can. You do that. Close the thing back up. Even tell them the license plate thing is good. Go around to the passenger side. Same things on the driver's side. Everything works over there. The windows is good. Lug nuts is good. Wheels is good. You might want to start looking under the bus a little bit now. Point towards the leaf springs. You won't be able to touch the leaf springs, but point towards them. They're near the wheels somewhere. Just point towards them. You don't see them hanging, you tell them you don't see the leaf springs hanging. They're properly mounted and secured, because you can't physically touch them without lifting the bus. You know, you do all that. Now you're back to the door. where you go in the bus. We have big plastic glass doors. Yeah, we got a security door. Bluebirds are good. They're like the new flyers of transit buses. I love new flyers. But now you're at the point where you're getting in the bus. This is where you do your pre-trip inside the bus. Same thing. Check the inside of your bus. Check your emergency exits, top and on the windows. Even what I do, press the stop wherever on that bus. You ain't gotta do it for all of them. Somewhere on that bus, press that stop. Request it. Cord, button, whatever. Press it. Go on about your pre-trip on the bus, on the inside. Touch some of the seats. Say they're properly mounted. The signs inside the buses. The handicap sign. Whatever sign you see up there on top. On the windows, you call them out. The signs is properly mounted and secure. It might seem stupid to you, but the tester, he's recording all that. He's not even making the facial expression. He's just writing it all down. Check mark, check mark, check mark, check mark. Check your wheelchair restraints. Press that button, pull that restraint out, let it go. Pull that seatbelt out for the wheelchair restraint, bring it back. Lift that seat up, try the housing for the wheelchair restraint, properly mounted, secure. The wheelchair straps is no frays. It's not shredding apart. You do all that. Then you gotta try your wheelchair ramp. During training, they'll tell you how to do the wheelchair ramp. Let it out, let it back in, let it out, let it back in. It's properly functioning, whatever. Once you do your pre-trip on the inside and outside, the instructor will tell you, okay, you passed. Now we're going on to the next phase, which is the air brakes. Pass or fail. Because if you miss any part of the pre-trip, depending on what part you missed, you gotta start all over. Same thing with the air brakes. If you miss any part of the air brakes, you gotta start over. Oh yeah. I'm talking transit buses, Justice. Transit buses. School buses are just as long, but I'm talking about transit buses. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 6 cameras on the outside too, I think. On an Arctic, it might be a little bit more. We got probably just as much on the inside too, but like, so with the pre-trip, once you do your outside, inside pre-trip, they say, okay, move on. Now you're doing your air brake test. This is really pass or fail. You miss just one step in that air brake test, you fail. And you gotta start over on a different day. But then at least when you start over on a different day, you're not going through the whole inside, outside pre-trip thing again. You're just starting right off at the air brakes. So with the air brakes, I'm not gonna tell you verbatim how to do it because I don't want to tell you any wrong information. But the one thing I will say is once you sit your butt in that driver's seat during the third party test, you better put that seatbelt on. That's the first thing you better do. You don't mess with nothing in that bus, in that driver's seat, until you put that seatbelt on. Because as soon as you sit in that seat and that tester's seeing you in that seat for 10, 15, 20 seconds and you start just telling them stuff about the bus and you ain't put that seatbelt on, automatic fail. He'll tell you, get out that seat, you're done for the day. I've seen that happen to people. Come back whenever and we'll try this again. He won't tell you what you messed up on, but he gonna tell you you failed. Yeah, pre-trips are supposed to be done very quick. Only time pre-trips are going to take long is when you're testing for your CDL. That's the only time where pre-trip air brakes is going to take a long time. Because you got to be very, very thorough with that. Once you pass it, you get out on your own, like you said, 15, 20 minutes. That's all it should take. Because you're doing it a little bit quicker now. Because now you're not sitting there and you're not explaining it to an instructor. This is just you yourself, doing it. So don't know who that person is. Check them out later. Okay, about to say. Yeah, pre-trips should not take that long at all. They shouldn't. Once you're on your own out there, yeah, pre-trip shouldn't take long at all. So once you're on your own out there, you're just simply walking around the bus real quick. Because remember, once you out there on your own, you don't got an unlimited amount of time with the third-party tester for a pre-trip. You clock in at 4 a.m., you might have to pull out from that yard at 4:15, which means you only got 15 minutes to do whatever pre-trip you got to do in 15 minutes. Yeah, you got to definitely make sure you have that seatbelt on. That is number one. And that is one thing, even once you get your CDL fully and they start doing behind the wheel training, your trainer gonna tell you the same thing before you get in that seat. You better put that, well, not before you get in the seat, but when you get in that seat, the first thing you better do is put that seatbelt on. There's times when I first started, I would get in that seat and start flipping switches. I had an instructor, a trainer. To this day, man, I respect this man, but he was so hard when I had him. His name was Sam. Boy, he was tough to deal with. He was the tough instructor. And I thought about quitting. I'm like, I can't deal with him as an instructor if he's going to be my trainer the whole time. I move somewhere else. He was tough. He was military and he was tough. And I just think, why is this man so angry all the time? That's how I felt. But once I got past this training, I got on my own. I always tell people I respect Sam so much. Not that I don't think the other trainers, I've had other trainers after him, but Sam, I respect Sam. I respect Sam fully, because if he wasn't as hard as he was, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at right now. That man was hard on me, man. He was hard on everybody. And I'm like, man, this man is tough. Like, he was, oh my goodness. He was an older guy. Man, this man was tough. Oh my goodness. Anybody that's ever trained with him for a significant amount of time will tell you, man, that man was tough. But if it wasn't for him being like that, I probably wouldn't be out here driving. I respect that man. I always say now, I'm not sure what Sam's situation is. I'm not going to get into it. But anybody that comes through there for the first time should have to go through Sam as your trainer. If you can't make it past Sam, you can't make it in this place. That's how I feel. I respect Sam. Sam was tough nosed, but man, Sam got the job done, man. He whipped us in shape. We got out there, we was confident. You know, the bus won't move if you haven't. Yeah, no, our buses won't move if you don't have your seatbelt on. If you take that seatbelt off when that bus is in drive, you'll hear that alarm go off, and that bus will not move. Now, if it's a fault and that seatbelt alarm goes off, you can still drive the bus. But if it's an actual seatbelt not in there, you can't move that bus. But yeah, man, Sam used to be hard, man. Like I said, I give much respect to Sam. I give much respect to him fully, because that man, he was tough as nails, boy. Like, he would be the type that, man, you go out there and you start drifting and you hit that white line with them little bumps in the white lines, and he feel that boop, 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 boop. All right, I know there's bumps on the side of the road. You get your ass back in that white line. Boy, he say that all the time. What else he'll say? He'll be like, if you feel you driving too slow, all right, motherfucker, we ain't driving Miss Daisy. Get this bus up to speed. Because at first when I was starting, I ain't gonna lie, I was driving 25, 30 miles an hour on baselines, 45 miles an hour. At this point, 2-3 weeks in, we ain't driving Miss Daisy. Get this motherfucker up to speed. That's how he was. You know, don't let me off at the fucking dirt. Because sometimes when I used to first drive, I used to overshoot the bus stop and the door would end up in the dirt somewhere. I ain't getting off in no dirt. Man, Sam was the man, man. I ain't getting off in no dirt. You getting too close to that curb, because you can feel the bus when the wheel hit the curb. You getting too close to that curb now. He used to be like, he taught us how to spot bus stops, because not all bus stops are visible. So because Sam been there forever in a year, he knows certain bus stops are covered. And what he'll do, he'll say either wave or call out when you see the bus stop approaching. And it be times that he'll say that because he knows a bus stop coming up that's covered, and I'll blow right past that bitch. He'll be like, I wanted to get off back there. And then I'll be like, the stop's coming up. Oh, there's a stop back there. And he'll take a mental note of that, because tomorrow we're going back through this whole route again. And he has it written down. When we get to that point again, he's going to have me slow down. Look behind that tree limb. Whole bus sign right there. That's how he was, man. He'd be like, I'm trying to get off. Stop right there. Well, why come you ain't stop? Slow down when you turn in the bus. Sam was the man. I respect the Sam. I had Sam. I liked all my trainers. Sam was perhaps overall the best. All of them were good. I had all great trainers. Sam was overall the best. He was the first one I had. He was the one I was with the longest. And like I said, everybody that comes through here should have to go through him. If you can't make it past him, you don't need to drive buses. I had Sam, he was good. I had Amber, she was good, though Amber, I didn't train with her much. I had Marie. She was good. I didn't train with her much. George was good. I give respect to George too. George did training a little bit differently. He took us out to a parking lot and had us maneuver in the parking lot and had to turn under tight situations. I never understood the logic of that at first because we just kept going around in the damn parking lot. Learning how to, he was teaching us how to utilize our space. Utilize your space. Ride high in the lane. Utilize your space. When you're in a parking lot, utilize your space. Before, I was turning regularly like I was in the street lane and was running up on curbs. Utilize your space. Utilize your space. Utilize your space. I never understood the logic of training in the parking lot until I got out here on my own, and they have these detours, where you gotta detour, like I had last week, where I had to detour into a mall parking lot with a 40-foot bus. I never understood the logic of George's parking lot training until now, when I have to go in the parking lot and I have to do stuff in there. That's when I truly understood the purpose of that training. Because I'm like, why are we training in the parking lot? Not that we didn't go out on the road, because we went out on the road, we did routes, but he spent a good chunk of time in the parking lot. It was an empty one. It had a couple cars in there, but it was empty for the most part. Why are we training in the parking lot? Now I understand why. Because a lot of detours sometimes, you ain't got no choice but to go into somebody's parking lot or somebody's gas station. And you got to learn how to utilize all that space you got. Sometimes you won't have much space to work with, but you better learn how to utilize it. Picture your bus where you want it to go when you turn. That's how you make your turn. Yeah, Sam, he was the motivator, man. You was either gonna pass or you was gonna fail with him. There was no in between. It was, no, I don't think I got it. With Sam, you either had it or you didn't. Like I said, I was with Sam the longest, and I'm glad I had him versus somebody that was a little bit easier. I may not have had the same success, or it might have took me a little longer. But 718. Hold on, let me make a call real quick. I was supposed to call my job and let them know about tomorrow. Yep. Okay, I gotta call back a little bit later. I was supposed to call to make sure I was off the schedule for tomorrow, so I already put in the sick time for it. Alright, I'll catch you next time. But yeah, man, Sam was the guy. Like I said, I had Sam. He was, like I said, overall, Sam was the best. I love George. I love Marie. Amber and Marie was probably the one I had the least. I didn't have them much. And Crump. I love Crump. Even though I only had him for the maneuverability, I didn't have him beyond that. That's the guy I buy my body oils from too. But like, he was good. Brittany was good. Brittany is more like the young cat of the group. You know, she's serious about what she do, but she also could chop it up and laugh with you too. As long as you on your shit, as long as you doing what you're supposed to do and you doing it right, she could laugh with you all day. You know, Brittany was good. Latasha, I love Latasha too. Latasha was also great. I don't want to say she was the opposite of Sam because she wasn't, but she was like the real life, like, I'm trying to think of the word. Latasha was the no BS person, like no sugarcoating type person, trainer. This is what you're gonna deal with out there. You can't have cold feet and be a puss and let these people walk over you. She was the type of person that didn't mind telling you you gotta pay. You know. Now, that's how confrontations are started. But I respect the fact that she instilled that in me also, because now I don't have no problem telling a person, if you ain't got no money, you ain't getting no. I ain't got no problem telling you that. You know. But yeah, I appreciate all of them, all my trainers. I didn't have one bad trainer. Trainers I had, at least Tramiel was good. I didn't have him much either. So I didn't have Tramiel much. I didn't have a lot of my. The only trainers I really had consistently was Sam, Brittany, and Tasha. All the other ones was kind of like sporadic. But training took me like, I was in training for a minute. The beginning of July, all of August, I think maybe all of September. I think finally towards the end of September I was released. So maybe like 10, 12 weeks. So, let me try calling these people back again. Gotta make sure they got me off the schedule for tomorrow. Hey, this is Joseph Allen. I was called I was told to call to make sure I was off the schedule for tomorrow. I had put in for my sick time alone. No, because I told Karina that. She told me to call later. Okay, thank you. All right. All right, got that taken care of. I don't think she fully understood what I was saying. I told her, when I gave her the request off letter, I said, well, there's two things I need to talk to you about. I put in a request for tomorrow because I don't plan to be here tomorrow. Make sure you call back later. So that's what I did. So I'm covered. And I put in for my sick time, so I should be all right. I just need tomorrow for myself because, like I said, after all that happened earlier, I'm like, I need to be 110% with my emotions in check when I get on that bus in the morning. And I felt tomorrow it would have been 75% at best. Yeah, that's not good enough. It gotta be at least 100%, 110%. And I felt it wasn't gonna be in check by then. Well, yeah, it was, and then even at this place too. Even at this place, they don't release you to be on your own until you're absolutely ready. You could easily tell them, "Hey, I feel I'm not ready yet," and they will hold you back and give you more training. You know, they will, because it was a couple times, even when I was with one of my trainers, and because we have behind the wheel where you're training without passengers, and you got cadetting where you're with the trainer on whatever route he does or whatever route they choose for him, and you're actually picking up passengers. And when that happened the first day, I was so nervous, and I was ready to tell them, "Hey, I'm not ready to be released yet." Because once I was cadetting, it only took a week of cadetting, and then I was on my own. I was ready to tell them I'm gonna need 2 weeks because I was nervous. But now I laugh when I look back at that. I laugh now because I'm like, I was nervous over what? Now I'm picking up too many people, passing people up apparently. You know? But yeah, they provide all the training you need. I say this. Before you get released to be on your own, you better make sure you got everything intact. You better make sure you understand everything and you are comfortable with everything. Because the second they release you and you get into some stuff, that's on you. If you don't feel comfortable with any part of this, you tell them before they release you to be on your own, and they will keep you in training. But you have to let them know, though. You have to let them know. You can't just be like, "Okay, I'm ready to be on my own," because you might get more money on the hour. "I'm ready to be on my own because I'm ready to do something different." You can't be doing all that if you really not ready. You gotta be really ready. And you gotta really be okay with being on your own. Once you're on your own, you won't realize how alone you are out there until you get out there by yourself. You ain't got no trainer over you. You ain't got no trainer sitting in the seat back there making sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, making sure you're doing the turn the right way. You ain't got no trainer back there telling you when to turn, when not to turn. You know, you ain't got no training back there in the back or sit or up front with you telling you, you know, as you trying to turn left, you know, go, now start your turn. You ain't got no trainer doing none of that. Once you out there, you on your own. Whatever that trainers taught you, you better totally have learned that. Cause once you're on your own, you're on your own. You get into something trouble, you get into some incidents, you on your own. Trainer did all they could do. You signed off that you knew what you was doing. You can't get out there and you can't say you know it and then you get out there and you mess up. I didn't go out there till I knew I was 100% comfortable. I didn't have to be 100% comfortable with the routes, but 100% comfortable with the driving. The routes, they expect you to get lost. With the routes, they expect you to make a wrong turn. With the routes, they expect you to, you know, to be late. They expect you to do all that. But what you better not do is get out there on the first day and get to an accident because you took a turn too tight. Oh man, I'm dropping everything out of here. Touching everything but what I need to touch. Yep, that's it. So, yeah, you got to make sure before you get out there, you are 100% comfortable with being out there on your own. You better make sure you are, because if you're not, and you get into an accident, that is on you. Especially if you get in an accident within your first 90 days or 120 days or whatever. You'd be lucky if you have a job sometime. Come on, man. You serious? There you go. Yep, that's why I always say, be certain that you're ready to go out there on your own. Because once you're out there, you out there. If you don't feel comfortable with making right turns, you tell them that. I need more training on how to do a right turn. And they will train you more. They have to. What are they going to do? Put you out there anyway when you told them you need more training? And then you get in an accident? Now it's going to be on the trainer's fault because they released you even though you told them you wasn't ready. You know, you tell them you're not comfortable with making a left turn. I had my best friend tell me. My best friend works up there. He was telling me that somebody new that just started was trying to make a left turn. And it took them, that bus covered 3 lanes when they returned. There are some turns where you might go over a part of the second lane, but most left turns, that back rear tire should not even touch that yellow line. Which meant that person, when they made that left turn, should have made more of a square turn. And what I mean by that is instead of turning right away, go straight a little bit and then make your turn. I'm not saying go all the way straight until you're in the crosswalk across from you, but go straight a little bit further than you normally would, then make your turn. Because by the time you do that, that back wheel should barely hit that line. He said he was at the intersection and that bus was starting to turn left. It was covering 3 lanes. No. If you still doing that and you're in cadetting, about to be released on your own, tell them you need more training on your left turns. And they'll train you on your left turns. Just as simple as that. They'll train you on your left turns. Ain't nothing wrong with telling them you need more training. Ain't nothing wrong with telling them that. Like I said, it was a couple times I got close where I was like, hey, I was thinking about telling them, hey, I need to get retrained. Not retrained, but like, I need to get trained more on certain parts of it. Because like I said, once you're out there on your own, you on your own. So that also means when you mess up, they ain't on that trainer because you signed off that you were comfortable. They signed off because they said you was comfortable. Once y'all do that, that's on you. Whatever happens afterwards. Now, I will say this too. the longer you're out there, the more comfortable you're gonna get. Don't get too comfortable, because when you get comfortable, that's when you're gonna mess up. You're gonna get too comfortable, and you're gonna think you could do things that normally a bus wouldn't do, but because you feel too confident, you're gonna try it and you're gonna mess up. We're all guilty of this. There might be a few drivers that strictly by the book, but some of us is guilty of being overconfident. I'm gonna just say that. Now you take that how you want to. There are drivers out there that do things that they shouldn't be doing because they're confident in their skills, and they do just fine. Then there's also drivers or operators, again, that are too confident, and they start to perform some of these tasks, and then they get caught up. And then now they're sitting in the office with a preventable accident or a write-up because they did something they shouldn't have did. So don't get too confident or too comfortable. I'm never too comfortable out there. Every day I feel like I can learn something. And every day I go out there like I don't know nothing. Even though I know I could drive a bus. I know how to operate a bus. I know how close I could get to somebody until I absolutely have to stop. I know that. But would I feel too comfortable in that? No. Because every time I do that, I still get nervous. Every time somebody cuts me off, I get nervous. You know, I know exactly the amount of pressure I need to stop. I need to press if somebody cuts me off. I know the right amount of pressure I need to press on that because it's air brakes. It's not regular brakes. I know the amount of pressure I need to apply on the brakes if somebody cuts me off to where I can still stop and not hit the car, but then not throw the passengers around either. But the day that I get too confident with that is the day I'm going to either A, hit that car, or B, throw them passengers around, or both. And I can't afford either of those options. So I don't ever get too comfortable out there. I don't. I do know how to safely operate that bus. I never had a collision. You know, at the end of the day, I can do 45 miles an hour on that bus, but I know how to be safe. I know the faster I go, the sooner I need to stop. That's common sense. They'll teach you that in training. The faster you go, the sooner you gotta stop. You're going 45, 50 miles an hour in a street, in the city, you better stop way before that light. Or start slowing down way before that light. You're approaching an intersection and you see that red hand up or orange hand or whatever it is, start slowing down. Don't think because you see that orange hand you can still keep going. Now, because I've been doing this 77 for a while, there's some intersections I know when I see that head or I see the countdown, I know if I don't see nobody at the intersections on the other side, that it's going to turn to the white hand. I keep going. But there's some intersections where you see that orange hand, you see a countdown. Once you see that hand with a countdown, you should automatically start slowing down. Even if you got 25 seconds and you know you're going to pass, you know you're good to go, still try to slow down. The reason I say that is because if you see that countdown, guess what? That other person sees that countdown too. And if, like, let's say you're going 45 miles an hour. You see that orange hand, you see the countdown says 7 seconds. And you're pretty close to the intersection, but you're not quite close yet. That person see that countdown says 7. When that countdown hits 2, what do you think is going to happen? That person going to try to turn out anyway. Because they assume that you As a bus is going to start slowing down, you're going to stop. But there's some drivers that will try to push it through anyway. They tell you, when you see that head and that countdown, you start slowing that bus down. And that's one of the main reasons why. Because if you see that countdown, guess what? That other person sees that same countdown. And when that countdown hits a low enough number, they're going to take that turn because they assume you're going to slow down. As a bus, you were trained to slow down and stop. But what they don't know is if you're an operator that's too confident, you're going to try to push through that anyway. And then, bam, that's what happens. Happens all the time. You know, when you see that hand, orange hand with no countdown, that's a stale green light automatically. You should automatically start slowing down because you don't know when that light's going to turn red. It may not turn red, but you don't know it. You don't know. So it's like I said, I only been out there for 14 months, so there's people that's been there for 20, 25 years, but common sense don't require you to be there long. You know what I'm saying? Common sense don't require you to be there for 20 years. You can get common sense the first day of being there. Well, I don't want to say the first day. You can get common sense being there a few months. You know, common sense take you a long way. It don't require you to be there 20 years to figure it out. You know, it don't. So yeah, I just felt the need to bring this up. I've been on here for almost 3 hours. I didn't expect to be on here this long. Haven't even ate dinner yet. Haven't even watched TV. I ain't working tomorrow at this point, so I'm definitely going to enjoy my night. That's for sure. As I said, tomorrow I'm just going to recharge myself, get my emotions in check, get it back to where when I go into work Wednesday, I'll be at 110%. Because like I said, tomorrow had I went in the morning, I've been at 75%. And that would not have been good still. It'd have been better than this afternoon, but it wouldn't have been good enough. Because it was rough this afternoon. That write-up, it really did me in. It really did me in. It really, really, truly did. So, like I said, I'm not mad about it because it was of my own doing. But all I could have said, they could have handed that write-up to me at the end of my shift, because it ain't no difference. If I would have worked a straight 4 a.m. to 2 p.m., y'all would have had it handed to me at the end of my shift if I did that. You're not going to meet me in the middle of my route to hand me a write-up. Y'all going to wait till I get back. So what's the difference between that and me having to split? Y'all would have handed it to me at the end of my shift, I would have been in a better mood than I am now. I would have been. But I'm not, because of that. So I didn't even download Discord. Well, that was if I was playing American Truck Simulator. I was supposed to download Discord on the computer and get on there too, but originally I was going to make a video ranting about what I talked about today. I said, you know what? I might as well just go live. And talk about it. because I wasn't in the mood to do American Truck Simulator once that happened. Once that happened, I wasn't in the mood to do any streaming with that. So I was like, well, I'll just upload a video the next day and explain what happened. But I'm like, shit, I might as well just go live and talk about it. That's the best thing I could do. I will definitely stream American Truck Simulator tomorrow. I will definitely do that. I don't know when tomorrow. It'll have to be. It'll be earlier than 4:30, like I normally like I would have done today. I would definitely do it tomorrow. If I stream tomorrow, I won't stream Wednesday. But then again, I might stream Wednesday and not stream tomorrow. I don't know. Right now, I don't ever have a set schedule when it comes to streaming. I don't want to put myself in that predicament yet, because part of me feels I won't be able to commit to that yet. So right now, I'm just now getting in the swing of things where I'm starting to stream again consistently, but I'm not to the point where I can commit to, hey, I'm streaming Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. I'm not ready to commit to that yet. You know. No problem, Rock, man. That's one of the reasons why I did the stream. That's one of the reasons why I did the stream, so I could talk about all this stuff in real time. Real emotions, raw emotions. Because today, like I said, Rock, man, that's one of the things you're going to deal with. You're going to deal with stuff like that. You're going to deal with the good, the bad, the ugly when it comes to this. Overall, transit bus driving, great career. Financially, everything is great. But you do deal with a lot of stuff. You will deal with a lot of stuff. Even being and this is coming from, I got that write up today. I got that write up today that you've seen earlier. And yet, even though I got that write up today, just a couple days ago, I got that. Can't really see it all that good, but I got that. So it's like, I'm not a bad operator. Again, the good, the bad, the ugly. That was the good. Now I'm dealing with the ugly part of it. So, it happens. So, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I got that right up. But then I also got that award just a few days ago. And that's exactly what I'm going to bring up when I go to that hearing. I'm going to take that whole picture frame with me. Got the whole picture frame. I put it in. I'm going to take that with me to that hearing. I'm going to bring it with work to me that day. I'm going to show it in that hearing. I'm not a bad operator. I'm going to show that picture frame to them. Y'all just gave this to me a few days ago. Well, at that point, it had been over a week. But y'all know I'm good at what I do. I just had a fuck up. That's all. That's all. That's all that is, I just screwed up. That's all. I should have picked them up at the end of the day. I admit my wrongdoings. Now, I do worry about which manager I'm going to be sitting down with. Because if it was the one I talked to earlier, she's probably the easiest one to deal with. But if I have to deal with some of the other ones, it's going to be tough. One I never seen him smile. He always look angry. I hope I don't get him in there because then it's going to be awkward. So, like I said, I'm going to talk to my mom still. It's probably too late to talk to her now. I'll talk to her in the morning. But I'm going to be honest and upfront with her. My roommate, I talked to him within the next day or two, if he not already watching. But I'm gonna explain to my mom, be like, here's the deal. I got this write-up. They say they won't fire me, but I don't know. At the end of the day, business is business. And if they tell me I'm no longer employed with them, I'm not staying here in Phoenix. I'm coming back. Now with my mom, whenever I told her I had to come back, I always told her so. It's only going to be temporary. Because I know my mom. She'll be okay with it initially, but she don't want me there long. Now, if I'm paying, well, she knows I'm good for paying, she'll tolerate me a little bit longer, but not much longer. But I'll be honest with her, like, hey, Mom, I got a write-up for this situation. I talked to them. They say I should be good. They won't fire me. But I know at the end of the day, business is business. If they choose to do so, I need to come back. As soon as I come back, I'll hit the ground running like I did when I came here. I'll find me a job, get to working, and I'll be out your hair. Whether if I'm staying at a hotel or what. But I need somewhere just to rest my head till I get my head together. Till I get my shit together. Because like I always said, I even told my daughter's mom, I said, if this shouldn't work for some reason, driving buses, and if they somehow let me go, I have no other reason to stay in Phoenix. I don't. Nothing here is offered to me that I will want. I could drive Greyhound anywhere. I don't need to be here to do it. I wouldn't stay here no more. I would go back home. That's just the way it is. So, like I said, I got about 8 days to hear from them. Like I said, I'm about 75% sure I'll be all right. They probably won't fire me, but I better not do it again. Like I said, it was an awakening, and I won't do it again, not knowingly. If they ever complain about it again, it'll be unknowingly, and I have a way better chance of contesting it. But I know I can't contest this one. I don't even want to see the video. They said that if they got a video, I don't even want to see it because I know I fucked up. So, like, I just want them to just let the shit go. I know what I did. Keep it moving. I don't want to see the video. I know what I did. Just tell me my whatever, and I'll go from there. You know. But if they should say, I'm sorry, we gotta let you go, that's the same day I'm getting my shit in order. Tell my mom I'm driving back. I hope this car make it, and I'm gone. Going back to Cleveland, you know. I don't hope it comes to that. And if it doesn't, I bet you I won't pass up nobody again knowingly. I won't. I won't at all. But I'm going to end this stream right here, folks. I've been on here for over 3 hours. I'm getting hungry. I need to go fry my fish. So that's what I pulled out. Tell you what, though. Fry's food store better count their days. Because that potato salad I bought from them, man, it was so disgusting. Well, I don't want to say disgusting. The potatoes weren't done all the way. Oh, man, I'm so mad. The potatoes were not done all the way. And every potato I bit into, because it's mostly fucking potato in there. Oh, I'm so mad. I'm mad. But that's what I'm going to have with my fish, because that's the only side I got left. I won't eat the greens that I got left, because I done had it one day. I froze it for like a couple days. Then I unthawed it and had it last night. And it's been sitting in the refrigerator so far right now. I'm not about to eat it again. So, it's just going to be the potato salad and the fish. But yeah, fries better count their days, because damn potato salad. I chewed into them potatoes. Oh, I was so mad. It made me want to rinse them off and boil them again. All the potatoes were so hard. I can't say it was disgusting because I'm gonna doctor it up when I go in there, put some seasoning on there or something, make it maybe a little bit better. But I was hot when I ate that potato salad. No problem, man. You can always write me on Discord. I'll be up for a little while today because, like I said, I ain't got to work tomorrow. So I'll be up for a little bit. My fish is already thawed, so I just got to turn on the deep fryer and wait for it to get hot. And then put my fish in there. It's just been over 3 hours I've been on here. But yeah, man, y'all have a great night. I appreciate everybody that did come through. But Rock, man, like I said, man, you got this. Even drive for RTA, man. It's all the same. Just remember the basics. Everything you see in that pre-trip, you call it out. Everything you see, you call it out. If it's something that's supposed to be secure, you say it's secure. Properly mounted. No cracks, no frays. Call it out. That's all I gotta say, man. My pre-trip, man, I was calling out stuff I probably didn't even know what I was calling out, man. That instructor, 9 times out of 10, he ain't looking with you. He down in this paper writing down notes. That's when you take advantage. You just start just naming out stuff, pointing at stuff, pointing in the right direction of it at least, but just start saying stuff. I passed everything the first time. Pre-trip, air brakes, road test, all the first time. When you take the road test, do not, the one thing that will fail you, besides the seatbelt, because you should already have your seatbelt on by the road test because you're going to have it on for the air brake test. But besides the seatbelt, do not run over a curb. If you run over a curb, automatic fail. If you run over a cone when doing the maneuverability, automatic fail. Automatic fail. They will stop that whole test right then and there, and you got to come back. But go ahead, let y'all go eat my dinner, cool this room down because this room is hot right now. I got a little portable air conditioner. I'll show you, but my room is junky. I ain't gonna lie, it's clothes all over the place. But I gotta turn on this air conditioner, let the room cool down, so when I do come in here, it'll be nice and cool. But I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go. I will either stream tomorrow and upload Wednesday, or I will upload tomorrow and stream Wednesday. I don't know which one yet. I don't want to commit to that. I don't want to promise y'all that. Check the community tab. I will let y'all know either way. And until next time.